This section is probably the most complex one. Here we have this in high demand deal now. We have some card this effect. When we hover, it rotates. On the top left corner, we have the brand of the manufacturer icon here, which is appealing us to simply hover on it in order to see some info. When we hover, each of these cards have a background which is the same color as the car or kinda that. And when you click on the buy now button for this one, for example M235i, you have another page, and this is gonna be designed by us later on. So without further ado, let's start building this, and I promise this is gonna be awesome. So let me start just removing this and create a new section. So let's say section in demand. Nice. And inside we're gonna have some cards class. Let me create a div and use utility class text center, which will put my text is centralized, and we have a second header for this time, and I'm gonna call it heading secondary, and just put in high demand deal now. Save. Create my utility class. U text center is gonna have a text align to the center. Let's save it and see how it looks like. Okay, we should have a slightly margin to the bottom right here, and it should be larger, so I'm gonna create U margin bottom large right here, which is gonna have a margin to the bottom of some 8 rems, and I'm gonna apply right here U margin bottom large. Let's save and see how it looks like. Very good. Now we have to take care of our typography, and we must format. Okay, let's remove this animation right here, and we must format the heading secondary right now. So heading secondary, and let's start defining the font size. Well, for this, let's take some 4 rem. Font size of 4 rem. Save and see how it looks like. Better. We're gonna put a font weight of 900. The text transform is gonna be uppercased. We have those gradients, so let's simply say add include to color gradient. We start with the color green and we move to color blue. Nice. Let's save and see how it looks like. Much better. We need to have that skew, so for transitioning that skew, we're gonna make it in just 0.2 seconds, and as we hover, we're gonna have the transform skew on the X direction for some 7 degrees. Let's see how it looks like right now. Very good, very good. We can add a box shadow. As you can see here, also it becomes with a box shadow, and here we don't have that shadow, so let's add. It's actually a text shadow because it's for the text, not for a box. 5 rem on this direction, 1 rem and 2 rem of dispersion. We're gonna use RGBA. Start with a black color, so let's use our variable color black, and alpha we can simply use some kind of .7 and see how it looks. Okay, color variable black doesn't exist. Let's save. Now it should be okay. Nice. Oh, it's so dark. Let's inspect and keep removing the amount that we have here. Okay, we have to apply the hover, and now we can see the status. Okay, 70%, that's what we have defined. Yes, that's 7. And let's try to remove the amount of shadow. Nice. No, now it's nice. Yeah, I think 20% it's much better. So let's come back here and remove it to Tatsu. Save. Let's go back to this and just give a 5. You have this animation going on, which is simply move to the right without skewing, and we have to build that animation. So I'm gonna just be including that right now here, and I'm gonna code later. So let me say animation move to right. It's gonna simply take 8 seconds, easy in, and I'm gonna put backwards so that the styles are applied before it really starts, the initial ones. Let me save, go to my animation file, and I have move to right with skew. I have to design the move to right without skew, and I'm gonna remove this. Okay, styles are not going to change a lot. What we're going to have here is to simply, at the initial point, translate X is gonna be to 0. We're gonna skip directly to the 30%, translate X 1.5 rem, remove the skew. Let's jump right to 60%. Let's give a translate X to -1 rem. Finally, we're gonna simply translate all to 0. So let's save and see how it looks like. Okay, let's refresh, and the animation is not here. Move to right. Oh, not with skews, just move to right. Okay, here you can see we already have that animation. That's nice. Next, let's start just giving some padding here so that we can have more white space on this section, and how this is not really related to the component itself of the cards. We're gonna be giving this style specifically to the home, and this time is section in demand. Let's simply give the padding top 0, right 0, for rem and 0. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, now it's much better. Let's start here inside of our section with some basic explanation. You must know that every single row is gonna have a card, and that card is gonna have its width equal to column 1 of 3's width. So let's start writing a row. Inside of it, we're gonna have the first one, column 1 of 3. Inside of this, we're gonna place our card. This card is gonna have 2 parts. The front one, which is this one that we see at the first, and the back one when we hover on it. And each of these parts are going to be separate divs. So let's create here card side, and this one is gonna be the front side. This is the variant. The next one obviously is gonna be the back side. So you simply have to copy this and place it here and say card side back. Here we're gonna place all the styles that we see at first, and here just when we hover. The first thing that we have is a group that contains the image of the logo and the image of the car. So we can group all of that in a image box. So let's create a div and they say a class which is gonna be card side front image box. Inside of this box we're gonna have the logo. So let's come here and place the container of the logo. Div class is gonna be card side front also, and this is simply the logo box inside of the image box, and we can simply place the logo here. This one is gonna be first for the Toyota image / it's inside of home, car logos, Toyota logo, not Tesla, and now we can write here Toyota logo. After this image we're gonna have the car's image. We can simply write here image, and the source I'm gonna take it from Unsplash, so you can simply copy from the source of this file, because this link is constant, it's not gonna change. So source.unsplash, I'm removing it from a place where you can find beautiful free images, and the link is this one for the Toyota that we have selected, EJJ4CO. Alternative text, I'm gonna say this is Toyota GD86. To name the logo, I'm gonna use a class, and this one is gonna be car side front logo. And for this one is gonna be the car side front image. Nice. The next thing that we're gonna be making is description part. Here we have the image. Next we're gonna have the description. I'm giving white space so that you can see properly, and this is still in the card side front. So card side front description. Inside of the description we have just two groups. The group that takes don't worry about what's going on here, that's obviously correct because we didn't format. We have the group of the location and the manufacturing year. Next we have the group of how many people fit in and the color. Start with the title, which is the first part. So div card side front title, this is gonna be the class. Place two things, the car model and that slogan. So class, I'm gonna say car model, and here we have some GD86. Next we have the slogan. I can say powerful motor like a tiger. This is simply the slogan part. We have finished defining the title, one part of the description. Next we are gonna define the specs which belong to the description of the car. So div class card side front specs. The group that we have is a column, so I can say spec column and treat them as a span. we're gonna have icon, and the class is gonna be font awesome, map marker ALC, because we want to have that location pin. And I can say this one is located in Illinois state. Let me say n non-break space, just to have a small amount of space right here. Next, we're gonna have the manufacturing year 2021. Don't worry if this is real or not. We're more here just to talk about the designing process and not the truth of the information that's there. We have to simply select this. Select, duplicate. This one is gonna be for the user, because we're gonna show how many people can fit in. We have 5 people. Next, the color is red and is gonna be tint. Let's save, and this is the structure for the front part. Let's go and see if we have something kinda dead. Here we have, yes, we couldn't find that photo. Okay, probably I didn't write very well the link. Let me double check. PC, okay. Here is where the problem is. Okay, it's apparently one of them. ZPZ AJJ40. Okay, let me change here to ZBZ like this, and the car is here. Don't worry. Yes, let's write the backside. The backside is much easier because we simply have the starting from, the price, and buy now. So here we can simply say this is the back main part, and the paragraph is gonna contain back main. Here we simply put the text and the starting from. Next, we're gonna have the price, finally that button. This one starts from 26,986. It's 5 or 6, it's 5. Here I'm gonna have back main price, and this button which says buy now is gonna be an anchor link button, and the variant of this one is gonna be button white. Here we're gonna say to nowhere and say buy now. This is basically the structure, and we have to focus on the style. It's a bit complex, but as you make it more and more, it's gonna be much easier to understand. So let's go and see. Okay, it seems like everything is there and we are ready to build. So let's get rid of that background that exists in our grid. That was just for testing purposes. Even the height, this should go out. Let's save, remove, and save again. On the next lecture, we're gonna start formatting all of this stuff.